How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massa Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. This bottle comes courtesy of my boy, Jacob. Jacob, he's the man. He's sent me a couple beer mails. One I got in the mail previously. One we actually met in person, chugged a couple beers. We exchanged the beers, and this is the last one. It's been about a year or so, over a year, since we've hooked up. And this is a weird one for a couple reasons. One, I was absolutely 100% certain this is a Bellwoods beer. It's not. It is a Barncat Artisan Ales. It's their Imperial Stout. It's a barrel-aged version, and it's 11.5% alcohol by volume. When I actually did the unboxing for this, I was like, oh yeah, this is Bellwoods Rock Queen. Oh yeah, barrel-aged Rock Queen. I've had that before. I haven't. I don't know what I'm confusing it with, but I thought it was a Bellwoods beer, but it's not. So we're going to dive into it. We have no idea what barrel this is. We just know it's that. So I'm sure it'll be easy to look up, but at this point, we're just going to crack into it, see what she's got. This arrived today, so it hasn't been sitting all that long. We're going to see what this sucker has, though. So yeah, I never heard of Barncat Artisan Ales. I mean, I've heard of Barncat, the actual card game. Barncat. I keep saying Barncat. Why do I keep saying that? Anyway, Imperial Stout, 11.5% alcohol by volume. And, I mean, she looks like a motor oil stout. I mean, look how thick that is. Rich, dense. I mean, there was about 3/4 of a pinky finger, but it's dissipating really quickly. So you assume there's a big barrel presence involved. But, I mean, she looks like motor oil. Label-wise, I love it. It's basically just red on lettering on yellow background with a little red on top. What more do you want? Well, what barrel is used? That would be nice, but we'll figure it out. That's kind of the fun part. I would love the barrel to be actually kind of proclaimed, stated on the label, but at the same time, I'm kind of excited to see if I can figure out what barrel it is. So yeah, motor oil in color. Let's see if we can get a nose. It's got to be bourbon. Yeah, I mean, it smells like a really vanilla, really coconut, really marshmallowy barrel. Bourbon leaning, a little bit of smoky charriness, a little bit of kind of soft oakiness, and then a big Imperial Stout underneath. I mean, big, huge. This is kind of like, and I don't mean to say this in kind of like a negative way, this smells like some of the kind of king shit of fuck mountain stouts that came out about 4 or 5 years ago. The reason why I say that, and I'm not trying to like disparage it or kind of minimalize it, is that this kind of big barrel-aged stout kind of came on the scene not super long ago. I mean, barrel aging isn't that old in general as far as beer is concerned. Sure, it's been around for a really long time, but as far as the modern kind of spirit barrel beer, it's not something that's been around forever. And the ones that really do it well smell like this. Now, the OGs that kind of nailed this out of the gate really nailed this kind of big marshmallow coconut kind of richness. They haven't really duplicated that a lot. So even though this smells like one of those beers from the past, it's not like those beers from the past have kept doing that and elevating it and making it better. They've kind of lost their way. This smells like that. So rich marshmallow, rich chocolate, vanilla, coconut, big, huge Imperial Stout. A little bit of bittering behind it. Let's dive in. Cheers. I like this. It's a little bit hot. It's definitely dry. Definitely oaky with a little bit of oxidation, but it all kind of works for me. You hit with a spiciness up front. Almost like a molasses, like a blackstrap molasses kind of spiciness. It kind of gives way to this big sweet component. The bourbon rides through. It's definitely a bourbon barrel. Bourbon rides through. A little bit hot, a little bit striking. That vanilla, coconut, marshmallow thing throughout the whole beer. Nice rich chocolates. It's like a kind of like a waver back and forth between like a dark chocolate, the semi-sweet chocolate, the dark chocolate, a little bit of milk chocolate to a powdery chocolate. It kind of floats around those realms. Definitely a bittering component, both from the roasted malts and from the hops. I'm thinking it's coming from the hops. It's pretty tasty, honestly. I mean, maybe a little bit cold. little bit too cold for a review. It's probably more like 45 instead of like 55, but it's going to warm up pretty nice. And it'll be a really tasty beer. And that's the thing, like, this tastes like kind of a pseudo kind of pastry stout, but it's not. It's just an Imperial Stout barrel aged, and it does it really well. It reminds me, you know what it reminds me of? And this might put it in context for a lot of people out there, because I think this is like a widely available beer. It's like a barrel-aged Siberian Night from Thirsty Dog, but a little bit more kind of nuanced, a little bit more depth to it. I don't think that's a negative thing. Some people might view that as a negative thing, going, oh, Thirsty Dog. But Wolver and their barrel-aged Siberian Night are really good beers, man. Really good beers. And it kind of reminds me of that quite a bit. Yeah, big roasted component. It kind of gives way to that big sweet maltiness, that big sweet barrel component. Getting huge vanilla, huge marshmallow, huge coconut off that barrel. Soft dryness, a little bit of bittering, balancing everything out. I'm a fan. So let's talk about it. Is this one of the better barrel-aged stouts? Core 4 with a barrel-aged stouts I've had as of late. Yes, it's in the conversation. Is it up top? Is it king shit of fuck mountain? No, but it's getting really close. It's a little bit too hot for me. Maybe a little bit of time to kind of do this a little bit more proper, but it just lacks something to take it to the next level. Even though it's a really good beer, I really fucking think it's fantastic. Value and availability, no idea. Maybe Jacob or somewhere up there in American's hat can let me know what's what when it comes to price and availability, and leave you with if you like what we like this beer. If you like big, huge Imperial Stouts, barrel aged, and you want a Core 4 really well done version of that, that's what you're going to get here. Listen, it verges on pastry stout without having on any of those pastry components involved. So if you like big barrel aged stout, you like a nice spirit involved, you like a nice base stout involved, this is going to do you proper. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little, Rat Queen right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.